All right, guys. What it is, you guys, it is yo girl Cadillac. Yes, I'm Cadillac Dixon. I'm the Draw My Life prison wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice. Hoping. Because you got to hold your breath for justice. To see justice before all fades to black. Yes, it's your girl Cadillac. There have been so many people just holding their breath for justice. We're told, allegedly, this is the land of the free. AKA massively incarcerated. Like that little rap I had that this was the land of the free. That's an oxymoron, cuz ain't been free to me. Shoot, freedom ain't never ever been free. It neither has justice and equality. But in this land of freedom and justice, that is exactly what every one of us that are here as citizens expect. That is the one thing that makes this country great. Allegedly. And most would say, well, if you complain about them upholding their side of the bargain, why don't you just leave? Go somewhere else. But why would you leave when you know nowhere else? You just want justice where justice was promised to you. You want freedom where freedom was promised to you. Right? I tell y'all, we in this narcissistic relationship with this system. Allegedly. Got that video. Our narcissistic relationship with the justice system. But it goes beyond that. But that's my little target that I focus in on, the justice system. Or like I like to call it. And most people that have actually encountered that monster like to call it, allegedly, the injustice system. Because it works directly the opposite of what they told us. The way that they told us it works completely the opposite way. Like opposite day. If heaven was hell and vice versa, if I told you go to heaven, would you say I cursed you? But guys, I've been trying to tell y'all, and the people that support me, they know this system. They see beyond the mask. Narcissists wear a mask. And our alleged narcissistic justice system wears the mask of keeping you safe. But you just don't know how they keeping you safe. How they keeping you safe, girl? They're keeping you safe by letting guilty people stay. I'm trying to get that shadow off my face. They're keeping you safe by letting guilty people stay on the street with you to commit more crimes, allegedly. They're keeping you safe by putting innocent people that committed no crimes, destroying their families, putting them in prison for decades, allegedly, to keep you safe. Guess what else they're doing? When there are victims in a crime, they're arresting whoever. Allegedly. They're not arresting the person that committed the crime against that victim. Though they do it in the name of the victim. They're arresting someone else and just saying, here, there's closure. But when those victims find out decades later when by some grace of God, that innocent person is released. And it happens less often because they make it so hard to get to it. But some people get through it. And then they have to go back to that victim and their family if the victim is not here. Because the victim, sometimes it was that detrimental that their life was lost. And they gave that person, they did not allegedly investigate that crime the right way to give that victim true justice. So now decades upon decades upon decades later, they have to go back to the victim's family and say, sorry, we got it wrong. Small mistake. We got it wrong. We're not perfect. We're human. So all of this that they do allegedly is to keep you safe. Wrongful arrest is the start of the wrongful conviction. So the officers, allegedly the law-abiding, upstanding officers. And yeah, I guess it ain't all. I would hope it's not all, but it's the culture. So it's too many. The culture produces this effect. But you don't want to reform the culture so that it produces the actual type of officers you're telling me are out there. It's not producing them. It's producing, it's a word I want to use, but I'm not going to use it here. But even if that person goes in there with that full intention, that culture changes them, allegedly. And it's also with our correction officers, our good law-abiding, upstanding. Thank you so much for going in there and doing that job that no one else would do. And them too. They get on these jobs. They may mean well, but then being on these jobs and seeing the culture of this unchecked system that we don't want to have no type of checks and bounds on, because they're going to completely do the right thing. We don't have to see about what they're doing. We even check on our children. We love our children, but we even check to make sure our children are doing the right thing. Why do you think they send home report cards? Right? We even check on our employees, employers. Don't y'all give y'all employees any type of annual review? You check if they're doing the job you hired them for. And if they're coming to work, clocking in and decided, hey, I want to be on TikTok all day. You don't just say, oh, I know you're law-abiding, upstanding, and you're going to do the right thing even if I check on you or not. So by all means, I'll never see if you're doing the right thing. And when people bring complaints against you that you didn't serve them, you were just on your phone, I will just disregard it. I will say, no, there's no way. They're good, upstanding employees. Sorry for the dramatics, but that's how they do. That's how they do about them. Like they're not humans. They somehow become superhuman once they put on take these titles and put on these uniforms. But they get it wrong so much. And because their mistakes, which I believe are purposeful mistakes, because they have been just overlooked and forgiven off rip, it don't matter how much detriment they cause. It's off rip. No, that was part of their job. They were just doing their job. Even when there's rules to their job and their job says per protocol, you're not supposed to delete the person. You're supposed to bring them in and put them in our business, allegedly. Put them in the business they was supposed to be in. Like, they're going to make less income off of that person once they delete them, you know, on the arrest, upon arrest. They would have made way, way, way more off of them putting them in their alleged business, prison. But when the public, most of the public don't care because we bought the mask. we believe the mask. It's like someone went around with one of those fake masks all day long, and we just compliment the mask. Oh, I just was watching something about that. Emperor's clothes. Emperor's new clothes, right? And the lady, I do a lot of narcissistic research, just as I do research on criminal justice, wrongful conviction, prison reform, right? And she was saying that that's what narcissism is about. That it's so uncomfortable to address what's really happening that it's just so much easier for you to pretend what they're saying is true. So that's how a narcissist gets away with what they do. That's how the actual victim gets to be the blame, Darvo. They switch it on you. They switch victim and perpetrator roles. They're the perpetrator, but they turn around and switch it so that they're the victim, right? So that's why it's very much, once you understand narcissism and justice, girl, but God revealed the justice system to me first, and then he revealed narcissism to me second. These are two big thorns in my side for most of my life. So they switch, and everyone around, which are the flying monkeys. So we, the law-abiding citizens, are flying monkeys to the system that is broken, that is not really broken, is working how they intended it to, but they want you to think it's broken, because broken implies, you know, it's a few kinks here and there. We're human. We can't get it right all the time. We make a few purposeful mistakes, which makes me think, because there are such a track record of wrongdoing, are y'all getting it right sometime? I hope to God y'all are. I hope to God y'all are. But we, the flying monkeys of the system, support it, and we sit back and say nothing, because it's just harder to talk against it. You know how much I've caught, how much hell I've caught, how much jail. I'm sorry, I say jail because I insert it as like a curse word, because jail is hell. So you know how much jail I have caught trying to tell you the truth about this system, allegedly. And what my family was made the victim of. They did a Darvo on us. We were the victims of this. The first victim was Marcello Jackson, my husband. The reason the first victim is not the person that the alleged crime was perpetrated against, because that's usually your first victim. And then the justice system creates a second victim by putting the wrong person in prison for it. Then it creates a third victim by putting the rightful perpetrator back into the community to commit more victims in the community. So that's the third, that's the worst. No, the worst is the person it actually happened to. Then I would say the second worst would be the society, the person they let back in society to continue to commit crimes, allegedly, to keep you safe. And then it would be the person. So then after that, they create a household of victims, because they tear up that person that they put in prison wrongfully. They tear their family up. So a family, I'm going to say average size is 4 to 5. They created 4 to 5 more victims. So you already happened. So, and you also created that because society creates the crime. Crime, allegedly, the opposite of crime is not incarceration. The opposite of crime is education, is prevention. And if you can't prevent it, people are already on substances. They're already out there. It is rehabilitation. Those 3 parts. Those are the actual answers, allegedly, to bringing down your crime rates. But also allegedly, they don't want to do that. It's not to keep you safe. Take the mask off. Stop believing the mask, girl. That mask is not real. Allegedly. It is to feed into this business. They're commodities. Allegedly. My husband's a commodity. My husband's been wrongfully incarcerated for 23 years. Do you know how much money in different ways they have made off of my wrongfully incarcerated husband? And do you know how much wealth they have siphoned from me, allegedly? Just trying to, because of love, trying to take care of him while he's in this system. You know how much over my span, when I was 20 years old, when this happened, we're going to figure in a lawyer. We're going to figure in bond money. We're going to figure in travel all over the backcountry woods of Florida. We're going to figure in all the commissary and all the packages I had to send him over all these years. We're going to figure all the visitation food. We're going to figure all the money that I've spent for emails, all the money that I have spent on even stamps. By this amount of time, I'm sure that added up to a dime. All right, guys, I'm almost out of time. I ain't even get to the point. I'm sorry. But you know what? It don't even be me. This be the Holy Spirit taking over and just having me say whatever. Because I listen back to my videos and I be like, dang, I said that? It ain't me. Because I can't talk. I fumble over my words. I'm shy. I'm introverted. I can't say what I need to say. I can feel it all day, but I don't know how to formulate the words to express it to you. That's why I'm an artist. That's why I'll draw you a picture first. Or when I write it down, it comes out a lot better. So them days that I'm just free flowing and coming off the brain, girl, that ain't none of me. That is not none of me. But the reason I came is because last night was my father's birthday. So that is, I've even been told that by advocating. Just by advocating. Oh, I bet you ain't got no father in the household. Like, why are you attacking me because I'm telling you the truth? But yes, I happen to have a father in the household, and I happen to have grew up with him. Father and mother. Y'all think that all BLK people don't have families. But do you know what? You know why that's such a norm? This same system that wears that mask allegedly dismantled our families. And once you do it so much, see, right now we're doing it to ourselves. But once you have put and conditioned that to be what it is, you don't have to do it no more. That's why they don't really have to enslave us the way they used to get the same result they wanted. They enslaved us for as long as they needed to. And when they allegedly broke the chains that just became invisible, they didn't break them off. They didn't take them off. They didn't. Who the sun sets free is free indeed. But baby, they ain't set us free, allegedly. They set us into the next form of slavery, rebranded, which is mass incarceration for some, which is this endless worship for some, allegedly, which is capping off your potential, which is when you're building certain things because they want you up by your bootstraps. And when you pull yourself up, they cut them bootstraps. Or they make sure you never get a set of bootstraps in the first place. Or they make certain that certain populations get bootstraps, and the best bootstraps ever that pull them own bootstraps up. They'll pull them up on their own bootstraps, pull up, and then they'll make sure you get none at all. Allegedly. But then it is on you in the end. It's your fault. You people. That's all I hear. And then people tell me to stop making things about RACE. But you attack me directly on RACE. You don't know me. You don't even know what I'm talking about. You just come through and on side, oh, she said something against our sister. The mask is true. We got to attack you off rip. But yes, I have a father. Grew up with my father. My daughter, I know it's hard to believe, but her father was in her life and actually taking care of his daughter until your broken system snatched him out and wrongfully incarcerated him. So I had 2 fully functioning families with mother and father, right? Y'all didn't get my father, which they tried. There are instances they tried to get my daddy. So it could have been me. That's why I don't pass judgment. It could have been me. You know I could have been and gone. But Lord, you allowed me to breathe another day. Lord, you allowed me to carry on. It could have been me with no food to eat, no shoes upon my feet. And if it wasn't for your grace, then Lord, it would have been me. See, I recognize the grace of God. It could have been me. I'm out here advocating, but it could have been me in there wishing someone would advocate for me, and when nobody lift no finger, I would just be gone. But yeah, they tried to dismantle my family. But they succeeded on the second round, allegedly. But he just turned 70 yesterday. That was his birthday. And we went out, so that's why I didn't have a video come out, because I usually upload daily. But and we had a good time. We went to Ford Restaurant, which is cool. That theming, I'm a whole graphic designer. That is completely what I'm supposed to be doing in life. That is what I went to school. I'm the 20-year college student, and I finally became a graphic designer. That is what I went to school for. But my heart, my passion, my brain can only pursue one thing at a time. So pursuing justice pushes everything else aside. So I don't even really have the time to pursue my business, which it chain links together, because I can't pursue my business because I'm pursuing justice that should have already been given to me, because I am a citizen of this alleged system of this country, right? But because I'm doing that and distracted over here, can't pay attention to my business, that I'm now in the other form of slavery, which is workshop, working to not even get by. Work to live and live to work. Hustle hard until it hurts. Work your fingers down to the bone. I got arthritis. I got carpal tunnel. I got nerve damage. So I know what it is to work my fingers to the bone. And once you come home, ain't nothing to come home. Wait. And once you pay your bills, ain't nothing to come home with. Hey, once you pay your bills, ain't nothing to come home with. Here's your girl, Cat. Excuse me, I got a little sidetracked there. I'm like, where am I in my verse, girl? But I turned there early, which is not unusual. But I didn't get that much. I didn't get that much sleep the night before. So I got plenty of sleep last night. And it's almost time for me to return to my workshop. So I really got up to read this article, because the first thing that I seen, I wanted to tell y'all, I finished the documentary. I wanted to tell y'all, oh, my feelings about that. Oh, my gosh. Y'all have got to go see that. Alabama Solutions. It's on HBO. But I woke up. I didn't get to do it. I went to sleep. No. I was cleaning. I was organizing them shelves, like I told you, till like 4 in the morning, watching Paperwork Party, talking about D'Angelo, until about 4 something in the morning. And I didn't get much sleep. So I went through work all day yesterday, going to bed, like barely. Like, no matter what, you got to be on that workshop. I don't care how you feel. I don't care what's going on outside in your life. And you also got to tend to that workshop before you tend to your life. That's why the parts of your life seems to fall apart, like your family life, like you're cleaning up, like you're tuning up your car. All of that falls by the wayside because your first priority as a citizen of this free country is to take your behind to work all day, every day, deplete yourself of your first energy, your first time, your health, all of that. Deplete yourself of all of that, and then expect it. If you're going to grow, you got to do something outside of that as well. It's this constant juggling act, which most people never get nowhere, or it significantly hinders your progress. It makes you take baby steps when you could have been to your destination and living in your purpose long ago. But I was so tired that I didn't get to give that thoughts. But then this morning, after waking up, like ignoring thousands of of the alarms, I seen an article. This is an article about the documentary. It starts off, it says, "How is this possible?" Okay, everyone that's coming late to the table, we already tried to serve everybody this. Ben done told you. You just don't like to hear. You believe a mask, allegedly. So I see this article. Let's see. See? Something popped up strategically. How is this possible? A new film looks inside the appalling ABUSES of Alabama prison system. Now, the title makes you think, wait, hold on, this is a just and fair system that's keeping me safe. So how does one prison was able to do what the jail they wanted to do? It's all over. It's not, even though this is a documentary on Alabama, baby, I was so glad when they showed Florida Punk A at the end. Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi. I done heard the horrors. I'm a criminal justice reform advocate. I talk to people from all over this country, allegedly. And we have the same grievances. The same thing is happening all over the land of the free, allegedly. So it implies that it's this one place in in Alabama, but baby, it's all DOC, allegedly, all doing this. So they are breaking ground for the rest of us. Alabama, thank you so much, because you got so much like, it's hard because they make it so hard to break these stories, and they pop up every now and then. It's like a weed. You could pull that weed, you know, it ain't ruin your whole lawn. Well, it could if a whole bunch pop up, and they keep popping up and you can't, you know, but they pluck us as soon as it pops up. Right? Okay. How is this possible? A new film looks inside the appalling ABUSES of the Alabama prison system. See how they not keeping you safe, allegedly? They over here doing something else, but you don't want to hear it. Oh, gosh. In the year's most shocking documentary, baby. For those that know, it did not shock. The only thing about the documentary that did shock me, and many others are saying that knew the system, is that, oh my gosh, I can't believe they actually showed that, because this is the dirty laundry they hide. We know these things are happening. Our loved ones. I remember I was in college and Marcello called me crying. And he was like, they just deleted somebody. And they gonna tell his family that he deleted himself. You would never find out. You'll never find out the truth of what happened to your loved one. We've been telling you that. We've been advocating. Y'all been allegedly silencing us. See, we can't advocate on these apps the way we need to. There's no other way to break it. The media, the news done already told me, baby, we don't cover that type of stuff. I've been trying to get in newspapers and on the news just to break my husband's story. I've been trying to advocate and get to those who fight for justice for us, who get us organized into marching. They don't even do that type of stuff. They only allegedly do like cases that it's already big, that could give them more notoriety, allegedly. When filmmaker Andrew, I don't know how to say his name, I'm sorry, Jarecki, when filmmakers Andrew Jarecki and Charlotte Kaufman visited Alabama's Easterling prison in 2019. And I hope these guys, some of these guys gave their lives for this documentary. Because they was retaliating. They were retaliating because the truth will make people do some stuff. So many lost their lives. One guy lost his eye behind it. I have one eye. I know how it is to have two eyes and then to have one. He lost his eye because they were getting the truth out. So they gave their lives. He gave his eye. So many gave for all of us out here affected by this system. And even you that don't have a loved one in this system, you're still being affected by this system, whether you choose to believe it or not. Because that's why your alleged neighborhoods are not safe. And funny, their answer in this documentary was to just build a bigger prison. I've been telling y'all about the megaplex prison. I got a video from 2020 telling you that DOCs, not only in Florida, which at the time the secretary of the DOC quit. Ours quit. Because he said, this is a plane crash allegedly waiting to happen. I can't do this. I tried to do the right thing. They really need to release people because you have an aging population. You have most prisons to critical capacity. It is a stress on the population and it's a stress on your good, upstanding, law-abiding correctional officers, right? You're also putting them in detriment because it's too many people. They're overworked. They can't keep them, and they don't care because this is a money grab, allegedly. Easterling, okay, they found a deceptively pleasant scene, like Alabama's 13 other prisons. Easterling largely prohibits media access. That's why, because they never want you to see their dirt. But allowed the documentarians to film its annual volunteer barbecue. Oh, it did start out like that. A sunny day in which incarcerated men, most of them BLACK, and y'all tell me that's because BLACK men commit most of the crimes, and that's not true. That's that mask. You're believing the mask. 8 fresh roasts to live music and sermons on camera. Men danced and smiled, but off camera, many were told a different story. Horrific beatings, unreported STABBINGs, unimaginable violence swept under the rug in appalling conditions that ain't fit for human society. I'm reading an article. These here are not my words. Cries for help. And usually when people come into prisons, they allegedly threatened the, we don't call them inmates, we call them incarcerated citizens. Not even sure if the word citizen is a lot better, allegedly, but we call them incarcerated citizens because inmates is made to psychologically make you think allegedly that they're lower than you. They're lower than human. They're not human. They're inmates. Cries for help emerged from inside the sweltering, filthy dorms. I tell you that a lot too. I got the Beat the Heat challenge of how hot it is and how people are passing due to heat-related illnesses. I almost passed earlier this year from severe dehydration. People are going into severe dehydration from the sweltering heat, the lack of actual pure drinking water, because many of their waters allegedly get contaminated. Marcella told me so many times about their brown water, allegedly, at different camps that they can't even drink, that they put a notice, don't drink the water. Well, what does that mean? That means families send more money so that they can buy more things off our overinflated even though we're in inflation out here, oh my gosh, think about inside the prisons, their inflation, so that they can buy more. But we do it to take care of our loved ones while they're in that jail, which jail is hell. Okay, cries for help emerged from the inside of the sweltering, filthy dorms when I can't say his name. Jarecki is Jarecki. Jarecki approached the voices a prison official shut down filming. Back to that narcissistic abuse. What do they do when you talk to their victim? What's the first thing they do? That's what they did. Claiming that it was unsafe. This is the word that really keeps all this intact. Safety. For your safety. We're keeping you safe. We're keeping you safe. Allegedly. I'm sorry, I know I'll be dramatic. A lot of it is because I'm actually poking fun at y'all for believing it. But some of it is because you got to laugh, not to, girl. Claiming that it was unsafe for him to speak to the men without a police chaperone. So that means that police chaperone is going to go back and report everything that happened to that person, and then they're going to retaliate once those cameras are gone, allegedly. They retaliate against them, and they retaliate against us, the family, when we call advocating for them. All they do is just take it back out on them. They don't fix whatever the family is calling to complain about. Just as when in 2020, my husband complained about them not following protocols during that time. And I called, and I even warned my husband, once you report this, you know what they're going to do. And they did what they was going to do. Like, we know their character. And how it ended up, my husband wrote a grievance on an officer. They say it goes in a lockbox, so no one's supposed to see it. Well, the person that sees it takes it out and tells that person, hey, inmate, which is mean to belittle you, Jackson wrote a grievance on you, sir. He gets to see the grievance that is not ever supposed to cross his eyes. He sees the grievance and he intercepts it and answers his own grievance against him and says, no, it was done correctly. That is not the way that, and this is the only process that our loved ones have to oppose the abuse of power that they're doing in there. But they control that too, allegedly. So I told them, you taking a chance. And what they did was, when I went to visit my husband, is they tried to set me up. And they claim dogs hit on my vehicle. And they tried to back me into, allegedly, an unauthorized search of my vehicle for no reason. And if I had have authorized it, I believe in my heart of hearts they would have put something in my car so that, oh, see here, the dogs hit on your car. Here it is right here. And then it's my word. And I'm BLACK, right? You don't believe me. That's all they do anyway. I already have a wrongfully incarcerated husband. Like, y'all think I'm that D-U-M-B with the B on the end? Dumb. Girl. They were trying to walk me into a search of my vehicle, and I was like, no, I don't trust it. Don't trust them as far as I could throw them. I don't even trust them if I'm watching them. Like, girl. So I don't. Y'all trust them because they keeping y'all safe. I know what they're doing, allegedly. And because I refused it, they said, okay, well, I don't know if you came to see your husband or your father. Anyways, your visits are terminated permanently. And that's all around the state of Florida. Smile. Now go and get off my property. When I was the only one. And that place was on the Florida-Alabama. Y'all don't know that Florida, well, y'all probably do know. Florida and Alabama connects, right? And that's when Martello was up there on that Florida-Alabama line. And when he experienced the most artism is up there. Because a lot of their correctional officers, they'll come down to Florida. You got Florida correctional officers on that line that'll go up to Alabama, which I was hearing that they got better, like, pay in Alabama. So a lot of the Florida ones were coming up there. So it's interchangeable. So the culture on that Florida-Alabama line is a lot different than I'm in Central Florida. It's a lot different. Now, we hide our R-ism a lot better down here. But up there, they don't. They don't have to. They don't have to. Who gonna check them, boo? In the words of Sheree. We supposed to, but we believe the mask. We're supposed to check them, boo. Allegedly. I'm about to be late for work, so I gotta finish this up. Oh. Oh, yeah. It's a long... Okay, yeah, so it's a long article. And because I flapped my lips for so long and didn't read, I am not... Yeah, I'm not going to be able to finish it. Whew, but y'all, go check that out. Go check it out. I'll finish, hopefully, because, you know, I got that little ADHD thing. I'll hopefully finish after work. All right, guys. It's your girl, Cadillac. Thank you.